Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Season 3, Episode 23 of Hit the Books, podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. We're here for the Pro Bowl before the big game in the NFL. This week, we got power rankings, news from all around the leagues, and more. So let's jump into this week's episode and introduce my co-hosts, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace, let's start off with you here this week. What do you got for us here? I was not here last week. You guys did a good episode. What else you got?
Yeah, I didn't realize my mic was on while I was clearing my throat there. So ready to get going. Had a great conference round. The Chiefs and the Niners. I told you all along the script. You should have been following. Had them both on the money line on the card in some way. The Niners with McCaffrey. So coming off a strong week there, looking at keeping it rolling in the big game. Going to be a tough one. So we're going to analyze the props big time. Huff already told me he made 2 cards, so I'm ready to get cooking. I know it's 2 weeks away. Got some other sports. Ahead of us here this week. Some nice all-star festivities as well. So ready to get going for another week.
Awesome stuff. Huff, let's shoot over to you next here. What do you got for us here coming into the Pro Bowl before the big game?
Yeah, not much coming from me. Not necessarily. I don't know. I'm not too big on the Pro Bowl. I'm more excited for some of these NHL All-Star matchups we'll get this weekend. I like the skills competition that we get there. But other than that, huge weekend coming up in college basketball. A lot of news in the world of football. Steelers got a new coordinator. I'm pretty hyped about that. A lot of people aren't really liking that signing, but I'm pretty optimistic about it. So we'll get into that whenever we're in the NFL. But pretty solid week this last week. Like you said, you weren't here. Super Bowl next week. So great time of sports. Got to cherish this football while we have it for 2 more weeks.
You're right about that. Mackie, let's finish it off here with you before we jump into this week's episode. What do you got here for us this week?
Yeah, not much going on. We had 2 good championship games last week, AFC Championship and NFC Championship. So looking forward to the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. I like Huff. I'm not really too high on the Pro Bowl. It's kind of a waste of time in my opinion, but you can get some cool
I like
props
to watch
whenever
it
you
more
can
for the
throw on.
lowlights that you get, like
Yeah,
when they're just like
yeah.
not tackling and shit.
Yeah, but other than that, just college basketball still rolling. 2-2 day yesterday, not ideal, but no unit movement, still rolling in that. Got a guest Ryan Hammer coming out in 2 weeks. So what is that? February 14th, Huff?
Yeah, 2 weeks away from today. So the 2 weeks episode, the episode after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so look out for that episode coming up. It's going to be a good one. Other than that, not much going on.
Nice to hear from you here this week, Mackie. Let's get this week rolling. Jump into our episode here this week. Episode 23. Like we said, the Super Bowl here, February 11th, Sunday, February 11th in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we also have March Madness coming up here, 50 days away, just 50 days away. I know we're hot here in college football or college basketball in our bets. The boys, Huff and Mackie, taking care of those. So lots to look forward to as we gear up for the Super Bowl, the big game, and March Madness.
It's pretty crazy. March Madness is only 50 days away.
Yeah, I realized when we were up 25 units, I was like, this is so early in the season. And then I was like,
It's really not.
oh shit, it's like February already.
We have 140 plays or 130 plays.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fire
it's
though. I just
crazy.
tailed that blindly. I don't watch much college basketball. I just cash on it, and you guys are doing all the work. So shout out to you too for that.
Last
Easy
night was
money.
sweaty. That Clemson game, dude, that was bad.
That was
That run at
bullshit,
the
man.
end, dude, that
I
was
mean,
bad.
we got it back with Michigan State because I did say that we were probably going to go 2-2, but it kind of flipped on us,
Yeah, we thought Clemson and Michigan State were going to be the 2 winners, but
No,
I don't know. Oh,
we
Indiana
thought
and
Michigan State was
Clemson.
going to lose. They
I
turned
do
it
gotta
up in the
chirp you
second
guys
half.
about yesterday real quick though. I threw one hockey play in the chat with 2 games on the slate. Nobody said anything, and it hit the Sharks on the money line. I think that's the only time this year I'll do that.
Dude, Ace, I'm not even kidding. I remember
You
I got out of my
unit, Ace.
Ace. I got
Yeah,
out of my
and it
men's league
wasn't
game.
Sharks.
I checked the score. I saw it was 0-0. I'm like, all right, Ace sent the Sharks. I'm like, this is definitely the kind of game where if it stays low scoring, the Sharks are going to win. And I just live bet under 4.5 at plus 130. And I was like watching. Sharks scored the first goal. I was like, oh, they're definitely going to win this game. I was like, but it was too late. If they would have scored the first goal in the second period, I would have taken their money line. But they scored it like what was in the third, I think.
Yeah, I think they got a late one.
So they were immediately like minus 220 to win the game.
The only reason I took him was I streamed Blackwood in fantasy. He's been hot lately. I was like, you know what? Against the Kraken, he don't score that much. Maybe he'll stymie him. I told my buddy he's going to get a shutout, and he cooked it up. I was like, wow.
Yeah,
That's sick.
Yeah, and Kraken.
It's like the Bears
that
money
hot
line.
streak.
It's
We
like
rode
the
that
Bears
hot
money
streak with
line, though.
Seattle, and now Seattle's been cold the past couple of games. They haven't been too profitable as of late.
Yeah, they'll hang around. They'll hang around the midway point. But Yeah, no, like I said, like that Sharks bet's gonna be like the Bears bet all year. That's the only Sharks money line bet you're gonna see on my card. Um, so don't expect that very often. Just thought that was a funny one.
Sharks are a tough one here to bet on for sure. All right, let's get started here this week in the NFL. Starting off, Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs went into M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday to come their fourth AFC championship in the past 6 seasons with Mahomes under center. Chiefs won the game 17-10, and Travis Kelce showed that he's still the best tight end in the NFL, putting up 11 receptions, 116 yards, in the game's first touchdown. Did this game tell you anything more about the Chiefs or possibly the Ravens coming out of this AFC championship? What do you guys think after this AFC championship? Mackie, go for it.
It definitely says more about the Chiefs just because this team. I mean, even I did. I wrote them off. I thought they were going to win one playoff game, go into Buffalo and lose. Taking care of business, taking care of business, taking care of business. And Travis Kelce getting written off. People are asking if he should retire after the season. Comes out, what did he say? 162 yards and a touchdown.
116 and 11 catches
Okay.
for a tutty.
That's just insane. Like this guy, like on the big stage, he's gonna get the job done. Mahomes gonna get the job done, and now they have one of the best defenses in the league on their back too. So, this team, I mean, no one's slowing them down. I have them in the Super Bowl. We don't have to get into that now, but this says a lot about the Chiefs. I think the Ravens even played a good game, but you can't count out Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, you're right. And that game they played was I expected all along. The AFC's their division to run. Had them back-to-back games on the money line at such plus high value. Can't believe that Patrick Mahomes was getting disrespected like that. I think they use it as fire too. They were like, they counted us as underdogs. Like, are you kidding me? Like,
Got him at 4.5.
and the
Mahomes
thing
is
is,
a
you're right
four and
with
a half
Kelsey.
point
Kelsey
underdog.
popped off, but if you watch that game, every single chance they had, every big moment was in Kelsey's hands. Every time, third down conversion, third
downs.
down conversion, third down conversion, touchdown. It's like that was the guy who was looking for. Rasheed Rice snapped off a bet too, I thought, but those two, along with Pacheco and Mahomes, make up that Chiefs offense as a whole. Those four right there.
Yeah. I was watching McAfee today. He was interviewing Kelsey. I'm actually watching the rerun of it right now. Kelsey's on TV right now, but Mahomes popped in and they were, McAfee starts going nuts when Mahomes comes in. And then later on, Kelsey starts talking about the situation that happened pregame with Justin Tucker and the warm up situation. And Kelsey said Tucker broke an unwritten rule or something like that. And obviously, you heard what Tucker said after the game. He's like, I just want to brush it under the rug. You know what I mean? No harm, no foul. And Kelsey comes right on ESPN this morning at noon and goes, yeah, he broke an unwritten rule. We're not going to mess around with that. Like, basically just stood on what he did in the game. It was great.
Stood on business.
Yeah, literally.
Kelsey.
It was a good interview. If you didn't see that, you should watch it. But yeah, I think the Chiefs, that the get game definitely means more for tells me more about the Chiefs than it did for the Ravens, especially. I had the Chiefs in that game. I gave them the points. That was my mortal lock of the week. Plus the 4 points. Obviously coming into this Super Bowl, it's a different story. It's a neutral site out in Vegas. I'll get into all my takes on that next week. But in this game specifically, the Chiefs, they basically went into Baltimore, played the Ravens kind of style of football in a lower scoring AFC North style game. Yeah, just shut up the crowd, put all that Ray Lewis Hall of Fame hype up the crowd, bullshit, all that to the end. Travis Kelce came out and just showed we're going to win this game, and it's going to be on the shoulders of 15 and 87. That's exactly what they did.
Well, let's look at it from the other side, though. I mean, what does this say about the Ravens? Ravens haven't been able to get it done. Lamar Jackson, what does he have? One playoff win against a rookie, CJ Stroud. When you got to have that conversation? Is he a regular season quarterback?
It's tough to look at because his playoff size sample is so small, and they did themselves no justice in that conversation by getting the bye. Would have liked another Lamar Jackson win on the schedule. Obviously, you want that bye seed. I mean, he's beaten who he's supposed to, but it's Patrick Mahomes that he's losing to. I don't know how much you can overreact. I know they were stifled, but that defense, like you said, Mackie, has really been the beating drum of this team. And they have been, even during the down times of the season early on. Spagnuolo was firing up crazy blitzes. I loved how he was spending those speedy DBs after Lamar because they were able to wrap him up. But they silenced that offense.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar, honestly, he didn't really play bad, just not really able to get it done. He had to have a stellar game, and he just didn't. I mean,
No clutch plays.
he's diced up some pretty elite defenses this year, so it's not like he couldn't do it against a Chiefs defense, who's probably
But they
not
were
as good as the
buzzing.
Niners.
They were buzzing though. The way Spagnuolo has them playing, they were all over the ball. The receivers created no separation. The only guy in the offense that popped off to me, besides Lamar, who I would have liked to have seen more from on the ground, was Zay Flowers.
That's the thing about Lamar all season. That's why he had an MVP season. He was able to make those top defenses look like mediocre defenses, and he
What
wasn't able
happened
to
to
do
the
it.
Isaiah Likely that you were saying was potentially better than Andrews in the situation? Neither of them showed up. The running
Yeah, I
backs
was
who
gonna
were
say neither of them
serviceable
played.
during the season were terrible out there. And Odell Beckham Jr. quiet, Nelson
Here-
Aguilar quiet.
Here's the number one takeaway for me. I think would they rush the ball 8 to 10 times? Like
How many
they
carries did
totally
Lamar have? Not enough.
dude, they totally avoided the run game. What got them
Did
to
you
this
see?
spot? Like
Did you
what?
see
Chris
that
Jones.
stat?
What?
It was like all their blowout wins. They would run the ball like 3 times the amount of times they ran the ball in that game.
16 total carries for the
Yeah.
team, 8 for Lamar, 3 for Gus Edwards, 2 for Zay Flowers, and 3 for Justice Hill. So six rushes by a running back. You're the Baltimore Ravens. That's what got you to this spot. I know you don't have the elite running back. I know you're going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, and you want to think you have to put up all these points. A 17-10 game, I like to think if they don't abandon the run game in the first half, they could have hung in this thing.
I would have kept
They
Mahomes
did
off
hang
the
in
field
this.
too. They just
Exactly.
didn't give it to the MVP. The MVP didn't have enough looks, and maybe that's his own doing. Maybe it's just that defense was so confusing to them.
A huge
That's what I-
interception, too.
That's what I think it. Yeah. Oh, terrible throw. He looked like Mac Jones out there. I was telling my brother, I'm like, triple
A
coverage.
terrible interception.
And the people are like, is that defensive pass interference? That never even crossed my mind. The ball was caught so far in front of the actual receivers, it didn't
Yeah.
affect
It was
the play.
never catchable, yeah.
It was never really catchable. It was never getting through. I mean, I guess you could say it was because it was there. The contact was there before the ball was in his hands, but it was almost irrelevant by that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a bad throw. Terrible look. I think he was trying to do too much, but do it on the ground, Lamar. What gets you these MVPs? What wins you these games? I think it's just the Kansas City Chiefs, the dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs coming into your house. They played this up as the biggest game in M&T Bank Stadium history, and it got in everybody's head, and you start second guessing everything, try and change your narrative. And that's why the Chiefs are who they are right now. Only team to take out Mahomes and the Chiefs in the playoffs is who? Joe Burrow. And it was in overtime, right?
And Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Yeah. Tom Brady as well.
That was
obviously.
before the
That's-
dynasty, though. Like, that was
Yeah.
before their true run.
I guess it was still in it though.
Yeah,
at the
that
time.
was the
No,
start
they
of
won.
it.
They won
They
the year
hadn't won
before.
yet. That was the only thing. But
Oh,
they
they-
were
they-
They
were
lost in the divisional round.
but they were like 13-3 that year.
Yeah, I
14-2.
agree with Huff. I think that's not a part of the dynasty, but they definitely counted in their AFC streak stat.
Right.
I don't know, tough to see, but that defense, man, Chris Jones, that guy looked like the best player on the field every time. He was disruptive everywhere. A lot of other names stepped up too. That secondary, McDuffie, the All-Pro, he's the All-Pro corner on the outside, blocking people up. The Zay Flowers fumble, though, how big is that play? If that doesn't happen, he's down at the 1. I mean, do they go on to win that game? Do they have a better chance? Because they had that momentum at the end. They shut out the Chiefs 3-0 in the second half.
Yeah, it was just one of those games. I feel like I don't know. I don't think that obviously it would have changed the entire game, but I still think the Chiefs would have came out on top. I mean, you give
Agreed.
you give a coin flip to Pat Mahomes every single time, to be honest.
But that place did get rocky. You saw them bring out Terrell Suggs. I saw him come out and hype up the crowd. They got that crucial stop on the Chiefs after they got the ball out. I don't know if you guys remember that. But that stadium was kind of getting its energy in the second half. If Zay Flowers gets in there, I don't know how that game ends actually.
I agree. Speaking of Terrell Suggs, I saw the Homer Simpson meme where he's backing in and out of the bush wearing a different shirt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I saw
Yeah,
one make
he's
one
gotta
of
do
Terrell
that now.
Suggs. He comes back out wearing his Chiefs jersey from the year he played for the Chiefs. It was funny.
Yeah, it's a tough scene. That's why you don't jump ship in your last year, but I get it, I guess. But yeah, the Ravens team, I mean, dude, that was such a tough loss for them. Great team too. I mean, the defense stepped up. They stepped up to the plate. You held the Chiefs to 17 points. I think that's a
I
good
will
job.
say this, like truly as a Steelers fan, it did feel like this was the year for the Ravens. And where they go from here, they just lost their defensive coordinator. Obviously, we know how their defense played all year, that hard hitting. You hear guys say it all around I listened to Kelsey say it on this interview, how, they're one of the hardest hitting defenses. You kind of know what you're getting yourself into. And I don't know if that's the coordinator, if that's the players they have there. Obviously, they still have Roquan. They still got Kyle Hamilton, who kind of Travis Kelce took for a ride for a little bit of that
I mean, when they
AFC
matched up
championship
man
game.
by man.
Yeah, that was a tough look for the young guy, but I definitely think this Ravens team will be back next year, at least in the divisional round. I definitely think they'll win a playoff game, but it really comes down to the big moments for Lamar, like a touchdown.
Yeah.
I know this was a lower scoring game, but one touchdown, like you got to use your legs. If that's not what they're calling, he's at the point, dude. You just want an MVP. You're calling your own plays. Like switch the fucking play. Like get a feel for the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think they'll be back. I mean, they have enough people with Lamar, Roquan. I think they were really missing that running back too. Maybe that elite running back helps out.
Is Odell a free agent? Because he was like crying on the
He should be
sidelines, like,
gone. He should be
yeah.
gone. He's washed
Get him
up.
out of there.
Zay Flowers, the only one that looked like he had juice in his legs. They need new receivers
I
behind
think
him.
I actually think Bateman's a good second option there.
Yeah, he's not maybe a third. What if you got a legit receiver? You know what I mean?
I
Draft one
think.
even.
Do you think it's crazy that I think they could get T Higgins as that's an option?
Yeah, but they just don't have the money to do that because they paid Roquan Lamar.
Yeah, I don't know. They always find a way. They're always one of those teams that finds a
Yeah.
way for a big free agent.
You were speaking about Kyle Hamilton. It reminded me of another point I wanted to say on this game. I feel like another reason is it goes along with the Chiefs coming in and being the big bad dynasty and whatnot. The composure level of the Ravens really cost them too. A lot of bad penalties taken, even by the veteran Kyle Van Noy, who's won a Super Bowls with the Patriots, punches Kelsey in the face. You know what Travis Kelsey's going to do. He's going to play as the best player on his offense, and he's going to talk shit to you the whole time. You got to stay composed. Bad penalties hurting them all night long. Even on that Roquan Smith play at the end, it didn't seem like much. You know, when he was supposed to take the intentional offsides, let out his frustration and blew up the Chiefs lineman. I mean, in a perfect world for the Ravens, everything went right. They would have gotten the ball back on the next 3 and out, and you just pin yourself back at the one. That's just the storybook of that game really coming
Or
out
how
there.
about
But
I kind of zoned out there for a second. Or how about the 40-yard play by Zay Flowers and then he taunts and takes a 15-yard
Oh
penalty?
my God, that's a
Yeah.
perfect example. Like,
But-
are you kidding me?
But at the end of the day, who was the better team in that game?
Chiefs,
Yeah,
they
the
won the
Chiefs
game.
for sure.
But like, yeah, like it wasn't like a fluke that the Chiefs won that game.
No,
They
not
were
at all,
the
not at all.
No, they
the
were
better
in
team.
control the whole
They were
time,
the
but
better
it
team on that
it
field.
got close late. That
You
late
could
field goal.
Mackie, I think I'm just trying to say you can look at spots where the Ravens, there's so many things you can point to and be like, if they didn't do this
Right,
or
yeah.
this or
Mhm.
this, it's not a this and this and this. It was like one thing. The Zay Flowers fumble changes the whole game.
But like you look at like Detroit, San Francisco, which we'll get into. I would say Detroit was the better team on that field. They just didn't win the football
But the
game.
better
the
team
first
didn't
half.
win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chiefs were the better team. They deserved to win.
Throughout,
I
they
mean,
controlled the game throughout. They were never in jeopardy of losing. There was just chances where the Ravens could have came back.
Made
and
it
tied
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
made it
yeah.
very interesting.
yeah, for sure.
I think my brother was at the stadium last touch on this game. He said
How's
it
he
felt like
feeling?
we were. Yeah, he was just like depressed. It seemed because, like Hoff said, with the defense just departing, beat up on that. So he's like, oh, I thought this was it. I was like, yeah, it's just the Mahomes dynasty. I think they just come back same exact way, retool in different spots, and they'll be there. It's just the Mahomes dynasty.
You can't build a team to stop Mahomes. Like he just changed.
You
like,
held them to
it's-
17 points. Like
Yeah,
you had
that's
the
what
home
that's
game.
hang your hat on that.
I think it's a good loss for the Ravens, actually. A good loss for Ravens. Lamar Jackson will find himself back in that spot. I don't know if it'll take 1 year or if it'll take 3 to 5 years, but he's got that big contract like Roquan. They'll be back.
They'll win a playoff game next year.
Yeah.
It's just whether
Yeah.
they run into the Chiefs in the second round or the AFC Championship.
Yeah, you just gotta hope someone knocks the Chiefs out or something like that.
Let's get in this AFC or NFC Championship.
Yeah, moving over here to the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers defended their home field in the NFC Championship, securing the victory over Detroit 34-31. What was an overall insane game. Lions led 24-7 at halftime after Detroit jumped out to a quick 14-0 lead. The 49ers stayed the course and put up 27 unanswered points in the second half. Lions managed to cover the 7.5 after a late scare of going down 10. Dan Campbell says he knows how hard it is to get these moments. Do you see the Lions team getting back to their game soon? You see them getting back to their game soon here coming into the end of this season, the next season.
You guys got a demon. You're doing what the Lions did. You're choking on live TV.
Yeah, fuck.
I'll start us out here. I do think they can get back to this spot. The NFC, obviously, we know what the Niners are. They finally get back to the Super Bowl. A down year for the Eagles, but I definitely think they're in that top 4 with Dallas, Philly, and San Fran.
Do you think they
in
get
the
better?
NFC. I think they can get better. I think
they
the only
don't-
thing they need to
I don't
address
know
is the
about that.
defense. They have a
They
good enough
don't need-
offense.
They don't need to get better. They don't. They simply
That's what I'm
do
saying.
not need to get
Their
better.
offense,
Their
their
defense
offense
needs to get a
doesn't need
lot
do
better.
anything.
Not in the
Like, a
NFC.
lot
They
better.
don't. They just had it. They just
No,
had
these
Niners by the
NFC
balls.
teams are growing.
Dallas does not.
Jordan
there.
Love is
Dallas-
here.
Dallas
Jordan
does not
Love
get
is
there.
here.
Packers, okay, yeah, he had a good showing last year. That team is still not built for a Super Bowl, and the Lions are going to be atop that division for at least the next 2 years, in my
Green
opinion.
Bay's going up.
I think they're good enough. I think that team was good enough for a Super Bowl this year. I really do. I think.
Goff is.
What?
I don't think Jared Goff's a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I
I think he could.
disagree.
I think he
I
could
think he
be.
can win one. I think with the right team, 100%. I mean, Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with the right team, so
Yeah, yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, he got there
Here's
already. He got
here's
there
a
on a 14-2 record. Like he's been there.
I
He
don't
has it
think
in
they'll
him.
be
He
much
puts
better
up the
than this,
numbers.
is my opinion.
He doesn't turn the ball over either. Really, I mean, the NFC is not a hard road to get through. You don't
It's
have.
gonna get harder though.
It's not.
here's
I
how
don't think so. I don't think so. I think the Eagles are going down the tube. I think the Cowboys can't get there regardless. It's just the Niners,
Cowboys
and
are
they had
better
them by
than
the balls this game. They just didn't get the job done. And if you're saying the Packers, I mean, I don't think they have to worry about them just yet. And they're in the same divisional matchup. There's a better chance of winning that game anyway.
Yeah, I think
Here's
Jordan
I
Love
just
and
think
them
they
will
need to
go
if they
close.
address the defense, like they do not need anything on offense. Their offensive line is great. Their receivers, obviously Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The running backs are legit. Best rushing offense in the NFL, if not one of them. Here's a list of free agent defensive guys I'd like to see them go get. Any of these guys, obviously, one playing in the Super Bowl, Chris Jones, that'd be an excellent addition. Brian Burns from Carolina, they're looking to move on from him. Daniil Hunter, Minnesota, Christian Wilkins on Miami, like any of those pieces, you look at Detroit's defense and you're like, okay, Aiden Hutchinson and
Yeah.
any one of those players, you're
That
like,
corner,
okay.
who's that corner that was playing out there?
I was gonna say,
Branch?
I forget his first name, Devin or
Brian
Darren Branch, Brian Branch,
I
something
thought it
like
was
that.
Brian Branch, but I
And
could
then
be
like
wrong.
an Antoine Winfield from the Bucks, someone like that. They have
How
some
old
free
is
agent
he?
money. He's only 5 years in. He just got off his rookie deal.
Yeah, that's a good deal then. I think you got to get rid of
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
yeah, get that guy the fuck out of there, man. Holy
Why
shit.
talking all that shit
I
and then
He
getting
doesn't
beat
do
up?
anything. He's ass. Like his interception was a tipped ball.
He is good.
If
No,
he
he's
landed-
good. He's a good player.
He's
too.
good.
I
Nah,
like
I don't
him.
know. I don't like him. I think he got
But
carried
he
there with
looks
the
like a
Eagles.
dumbass
Now he got
now.
carried there with the Lions, and he just looks stupid.
But he
and I
changed
don't
that
know.
culture. He's the one who brought the
Those type of players have a
ski
2-year.
masks to Detroit.
Those type of players have a 2-year prime, and then they're done.
He was
You've
so
seen it
good
how
on
many
New
times?
Orleans. Do you remember him on New Orleans?
Yeah, that was when he was the best. When he was young.
Yeah, him
Lattimore.
and Lattimore. That was an unreal defense.
Didn't he get his chain snatched?
Yeah, he was the Bears
No,
receiver.
Lattimore
that ran
did
up
by
to him.
Mike
Yeah,
Evans.
no, I think it was
Javon Wims that punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gardner Johnson just stands there and looks at him. It was so funny.
And then he gets
Yeah,
punched.
Yeah, he gets popped. No, but back to this game. I mean, yeah, the Lions. We'll have to see as time goes on. They have a young team. That's a good point. I didn't think about the playmakers around them on offense, but just not sold on Jared Goff. Seen him lose too many big games. Dan Campbell too. Guy's an idiot. I mean, honestly, let's talk about some of those decisions there. How did
if those work though, like you're
What
calling
do you
him a
mean?
genius.
What do you mean, Jared Goff? You've seen him lose too many big games. He's literally been in 2
The
playoffs. He got
NFC
to the Super
Championship
Bowl
and the
and
Super Bowl.
he lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and then he went to the. He
he
brought
lost
the
2 big
Lions to their
games.
first 2 playoff wins. He's got a better playoff resume than any other quarterback we could talk about right now, except for Pat Mahomes and maybe Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but he's gotten to the spot and hasn't won, so he hasn't done enough
He's-
to win those games yet.
Like you wouldn't say that about Josh Allen. You wouldn't say that about Lamar
Yes,
Jackson.
I do. I said it last week.
So who do you think can actually win a Super Bowl besides Pat Mahomes?
No, you have to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, nobody though. Like
What about Jalen Hurts? Can he get the job done?
I was gonna say Burrow.
No. Yeah, maybe Burrow because he's already beaten him.
I think Jared Goff is a clutch quarterback. I mean, I think that was an invalid statement.
I think he's just inflated with the team he has around him. Great team that they built around that guy. But no, talking about this game more. So let's talk about some of those Dan Campbell decisions, though. Huff, you don't think those were dumb decisions? I mean, you got to kick the field goal.
Oh,
at
no,
least
no.
once.
I agree completely, but
The first
like,
one, I don't mind the decision.
first one,
but
I don't-
After the first,
Dude, the first one gave them momentum, though. They gave them so much momentum.
yeah, but if they just didn't make the second or third mistake, it might not have mattered. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean,
But
you're
like,
playing.
it pumped life back into a stadium that thought the game was over. And
You're
why are you gambling against the best defense?
you're
Oh,
yeah, you're
fuck.
going as 7-point underdogs, and you're sitting here gambling 3-4 times in a row. Like the first
Oh
time,
my
okay, I get
God.
it. That's like what you do. You're the Lions. You're
Yeah,
Dan
yeah.
Campbell,
I
you
get
have to
it, yeah.
gamble. But not the second and the third, and when
Oh
it's
my
consistently not working, and you're just leaving points out there on the board. Like you got to learn from your mistakes.
That was horrible.
He was living or dying by it, and that was very clear. But I mean, at some point, you got to actually like bring numbers into it.
Yeah.
Like this just isn't working.
You're down by 3 and you
Yeah.
can get 3.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, come on.
Oh my god. I understand it though, like that he felt like he needed to get 7 there, but man, come
You
on.
get 7 there, they're down 4, they need the
That's why Bill
touchdown.
Belichick's
Which
the
they
best
probably
coach.
would have ended up getting anyway. Just tie the game and try to get the ball back.
Well, you
and
guys,
maybe.
last time I want to touch on that Chiefs game, you guys don't think these coaches are stupid though nowadays? It's like, oh my god, the advanced analytics is getting in their head because Andy Reid went for it on 4th and 2 when they were up like 7 or 10, and you could have extended your lead even more when points were tough to come by in that game. You don't just take points whenever you get them in the playoffs. They're
Dude,
hard to come by.
coaches are getting more ballsy. They're not playing by the book. They're thinking bigger picture. Like, I mean, if you have that type of offense, if you're rolling, I think the
'Cause, like
numbers are there to go for it. But like, it's not old time football anymore. Like, these like Belichick would never do anything like
Never,
that
never,
ever because he
not even.
plays by the book. He's a smart
Dude, it's
old time
3 points. Oh my god.
It's
The,
just
the
these new
last one.
even
The
Andy
last
Reid's
one
not
baffles me. It baffles me. Like,
Andy
come
Reid's
on.
not even a new coach, but I mean, it is like this new generation of coaches that are just changing the game, I guess.
Yeah, advanced analytics.
I think it's more their players. They're like the players are like, "Yo, 4th and 2,
We
I can
got
get
this.
5 yards."
It's the analytics is exactly
They're gonna
what it
say they
is.
got this every time. Players have been
It's
doing that forever, but the coach has to be
statistically
able to say, "No, we're gonna tie the game."
statistically, they should be going for it.
No,
Unfortunately.
no.
Like, oh, actually, just it's 4th down and we're down by 3. Yeah, we're probably gonna send the field goal unit. They should have been running on the field without even being told. Like, I don't understand
But
what's going
like
on over there.
I heard a lot. The producer on McAfee shows are like a lifelong Lions fans, and he was like, "I'm not gonna lie, I'm okay with them going for the 4th down conversions there because the old Lions would kick a field goal there, or send the field goal team out
And
there
miss.
and miss the field goal."
Yeah.
And
He
then
didn't
you
want
feel
to.
like
He
a
didn't
real
want to be
jackass.
Tyler Bass. He didn't want to make his kicker Tyler Bass, I guess.
Yeah,
But no,
Another
I mean, we
ass.
haven't even talked about the team that won the game, the San Francisco 49ers. It's funny because every playoff game we're like,
it's
they
because
look
they
like
were so
shit.
expected
They're
to
getting
win
They're
that
beat,
so underwhelming too.
and
I
then
mean,
they win every time. You want to know why? It's because they have the best player in the league who should be the MVP. I remember when you guys were talking about Tyreek Hill, and I said it's a quarterback award, which it is. I think McCaffrey's the best player in the league
yeah,
Behi- on that
Yeah, I'd
offense.
say
On
so.
that offense,
he's definitely the most valuable non-quarterback in the league, but I mean, it's just so hard to gauge.
yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, he's the reason. Like, everybody else is doing their thing. The defense stepped up in the right times, even though they were terrible in the first half. And I know they have Debo playing through the injury, doing well. 2 weeks off, great for him. Ayuk looked
The
good.
the only thing is the Niners haven't. I mean, they didn't win that game. The Lions lost it. Like they
They,
did
they
not win.
they
They
put
did
up a
not win
lot
that.
of points though. And you know who
Yeah,
looked good? You can't tell me in the second half that Brock Purdy didn't look good. He was
he
using his
looked
legs
great.
to extend
Looked
plays
great.
too.
He
I was
looked great.
surprised at the speed he had coming out of the
I was gonna
pocket.
say when he started running around a little bit, I was even like, "Damn, I didn't know he would do this." Like, he seems
Mhm.
like he's like scared to run.
You think the
Yeah,
Chiefs defense gives him hell?
yeah, but he's been cool in the face of pressure so far. And it's tough to give, like, you know who's not gonna run the ball 6 times with their running backs? Kyle Shanahan.
There's-
With Kyle Juszczyk and that great O-line. I
I
mean,
don't
that's
want to. I don't want to get into the Super Bowl too much,
mm,
but just answer this one question because it just came in my head. Does the fact that the Ravens stomped the 49ers in San Francisco and the fact that the Chiefs just beat the Ravens in the biggest game of their season
Absolutely
affect your
not.
decision at all? No.
no.
Absolutely not. You can't play tit for tat like that because then the Jets are better than every single team in the.
Well, the Patriots are better
I
than the
still think you
Bills.
could.
So.
I still think you can look at certain spots like that. I don't think you
I
can every spot in every spot in the league.
But no, it's
I
different
don't
though in
think
the
so
in the
because
big game.
yeah, I
Let's
don't.
save that for next week. Let's save that for next week. We'll have some good conversation. Let's go back to this Lions and Niners game. I mean, did you guys? I remember I texted in the chat many a time. I was like, "Mackie, is now the time to bet the Niners live?" You're like, "Not yet. It's coming."
No,
And then half.
you said it, and I was like, I was literally just about to do it, and then I was like, nah, I can't do it. But you might have done it.
Yeah, oh, I did. And you know what else was the best part? At halftime, two down 24-7, sitting with a bunch of people who were rooting for the Lions. I'm sure like most of America was. I was like, oh, if I have my future on the Niners, I'm all in on the Niners, been in on them all year. Like, what the hell is going on? And then the second half, I kept saying to myself, I'm like, a lot of game left, a lot of game left. And then they just took off and did their thing. The defense came up with the turnovers. The offense was punching the ball in the end zone. Purdy was moving the ball. Everything was clicking, and I don't know why it takes them so long to wake up sometimes, but they're not gonna be able to do that next week. But it was a good comeback win. Kyle Juszczyk too. Did you see his usage in the passing game? That's pretty crazy. They were using him out wide. And there was no answer for him. He had that toe tap, that one across the middle of the field too.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was looking like a slot receiver out there.
Yeah, I'm like, when your fullback's that athletic, it's tough to cover. Because think about it, you have McCaffrey, Juszczyk, Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk out there. It's like, all
I'd
right,
have
none of those guys are slouches.
I'd use Juszczyk a lot next Sunday if I was the 49ers
Yeah,
against
I,
that defense.
yeah, they're gonna use everybody, and he clears up the holes too. And then did you see Elijah Mitchell come in? Didn't he run one in as well? I think he had the game-winning touchdown. McCaffrey almost had the hat trick. I had him for 2+ cuff. We called that on the live stream, but I carded one and the money line, which was nice.
Both hit.
Yep, a lot of options from that offense, and just a great team overall. I mean, they're so talented. We're gonna get the super QB one from the AFC and the super team one from the NFC here. So this will be a great one. I'm excited for it. Two great conference games though. Called them both to a T. To a T. But Huff, we called that one on the live stream perfectly.
We literally said they're
Lions
gonna be down
cover,
10. Yep.
Niners win. Lions cover, Niners win. Best line Vegas could have given you. Imagine if we carded both. We looked like geniuses. But
Huff, you went
I
2-0, didn't you?
Yeah, I just had both underdog spreads, Chiefs
Yeah.
and the Lions.
Nice, man. Good job.
good week of
On
football.
a nice little
Mackie,
3-game
did you go
year.
1-0?
Hit my first playoff bet. Clap it up. Let me hear it. Come on, give me it. Give me it.
As a dog.
Woo, go
I
Mackie.
saw one of your buddies
woo.
comment on the Instagram post. They're like, Mackie's on a roll right now. He's getting hot.
Don't let me get hot. Nah, I just wanted to get that one out of the way so I wasn't 0 for in the playoffs. I might not even play a Super Bowl bet now. You know what?
Mackie's gonna make up all of his units in the
Mackie's- I'm
Super
gonna
Bowl. He's gonna
nuke
look
a
at every
I'm gonna-
prop
I'm going to nuke a 33 unit play.
on the Chiefs money
heads.
line.
So I'll hit at 37% on the year and hopefully be 0 units.
Mackie, just put it all on the coin toss.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm pretty good luck with that too.
Yeah, we'll get into those next week. We got some good stuff looking forward to, and the boys will be prop shopping and cooking it up.
Let's get into this other NFL stuff.
What's going on, everybody? Jesse from Hit the Books here. I want to tell you a little bit about Zencastr. We use Zencastr because it's the best solution for us to record our episodes each week with 4 of us in different locations. Coordination is hard, and Zencastr makes that easy. Like I said, it's so easy. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Just log in with your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Zencastr is an all-in-one platform. If you've thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. Zencastr is all-in-one podcasting platform. You can create a podcast all in one place and distribute to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other major destinations. If you're interested, go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code HITTHEBOOKS, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same experience, easy experience we do with all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Make sure to use our link in the description below or our offer code HITTHEBOOKS at zencastr.com/pricing for 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. Let's keep on moving here. The 2024 NFL Pro Bowl takes place on Sunday, February 4th here this Sunday, Orlando, Florida at 3 p.m. Eastern. You guys got any picks on this game? I know it's not a huge deal, nothing official here, obviously, but just for conversation, do you have any picks going into the Pro Bowl here this year?
Isn't the AFC that wins every year and the NFC won last year? I'd probably just jump back on that.
I am not betting on this shit.
I-
If I walk
I-
out there and I have a bet and I see someone just watch him run right by him, I'm gonna fucking lose my
We
shit.
could take
Yeah.
a lot of people to score a touchdown. That's always a good one.
Yeah, you're gonna be oh, he's about to get tackled. Nope, that was a 60-yard touchdown. He's just not
I
gonna
mean, Gardner
gonna let him-
Minshew's in the Pro
gonna
Bowl.
let
He's
him
going to
go
be
by.
electric. Who do you think's going to be the best quarterback in it? Geno Smith, Gardner Minshew, Jalen Hurts?
Those are always the
Tua?
guys that ball out because they
Yeah.
actually like
Gardner
try.
Minshew's still playing for a starting job, need me remind you. He's going to
How's-
take this one seriously.
No way. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
How
he has to.
scumbag is it to run the ball as a quarterback in the Pro Bowl? Because you're not
Well,
going to get
Jalen
hit. You can
Hurts-
honestly just take it
What else
100
is
yards. every
Jalen Hurts
single
going to
time.
do? All right, here's a good one for you. The chances that Jalen Hurts does a tush push with everybody from around the league before they
No
ban it.
shot, 0%.
If you
That'd
what?
be hilarious,
Does it
though.
push?
They did the tush push with like all the random players.
They should make that a prop.
Right?
Does Jalen Hurts do the tush push?
That'd be
I
hilarious.
think he does
so,
it.
too. I
And then
think
they
so,
don't
too.
get it, and then they're going to be like, wow, Jason Kelsey's a beast.
Jason Kelsey. Shout out to him on the retirement, by the way.
OG.
I got a little side note here. I know we're not going to talk about the Super Bowl a lot, but tickets on the secondary market for the Super Bowl are on track to be the most expensive in Super Bowl history. On Monday on TickPick, they were an average ticket was $9,815. That's nearly double the final average price of $5,795 of last year's game between the Chiefs and Eagles. It's also higher than the previous high of $7,046 in the 2021 game in Tampa, Florida, between the Bucs and the Chiefs. That one was due to COVID mainly. Obviously, a lot of people believe because the stadium's only 33% capacity, but kind of crazy that tickets in Vegas are going for $9,800 a pop.
I feel like it just goes up every year, does it not?
Yeah, it does.
Theoretically, yeah, and you got to think like Vegas, like they have
Should be
different
the most
clubs and things
expensive.
built in, and so like those aren't just regular tickets. Like you can't just go buy that. Like you got to reserve a table and things like that
Yeah, like
for
there's tables that are being sold for the Super Bowl for like
$1 million.
1.5 million for the one table level view.
That's
Yeah.
just
We putting it
insane
on the card, boys?
for a
You can put it
for a 4-hour football game.
when you can put it on your
Not be
TV
a
for
bad
fucking
idea.
free.
Yeah, just throw it on the company card.
Let's keep it moving here through the NFL. Head coaching positions and coordinator positions continue to get filled in. Pittsburgh Steelers are expected to hire former Atlanta Falcons head coach Arthur Smith to be their offensive coordinator. Smith led the NFL's #1 rushing offense in Tennessee, where his new backfield will now feature Najee Harris and Jalen Warren to get his season started. Huff, what are you thinking about this one here in Pittsburgh? Arthur Smith, a possible addition here for them. What do you got?
Yeah,
RD.
it is official now. He is the offensive coordinator. They signed him. I think it was yesterday or this morning. So I do like this signing. I think he's going to come in. Obviously, we don't know what the quarterback position is going to look like next year. I fingers crossed it's Justin Fields. If we can make a move for that come draft night or leading up to it, that would be absolutely a perfect situation for me. Him, Russ, just either of those guys. Probably Fields is the better option for the future, just to get the younger guy in here. It's going to be a higher asking price, but I think Arthur Smith going to come in here, run a nice rush heavy offense, draft another offensive lineman. I think the Steelers' offense is on the up and up, and the defense Tomlin always has. Where we need with the standard being the standard, with the defense kind of saving the games and keeping us in things. But I'm excited to see what he does. Obviously, everyone loves to clown and act like he underused Kyle Pitts, he underused Drake London, and he underused all these. Yeah, Bijan. I don't know. I think the coordinator down there, that obviously he was the true head coach. I think the coordinator down there was obviously definitely played part of a role in that. We'll have to see what comes in Pittsburgh. If he does the same thing here, then obviously it's the coach, not the team. So we'll have to see. I'm excited for it though. I think Najee Harris, big year. Obviously another year with Broderick Jones under the left side. I think this offensive line is going to take a major leap coming into next year. Like I said, it all comes down to the quarterback play. We have all the skill players we could need, just need someone under center.
I think it's a good pickup. It gives some stability to an offense with a lot of question marks. You have a lot of good pieces there too. Maybe it doesn't hurt that he uses the depth there because the depth in Pittsburgh's a little bit better since it's a wide receiver factory. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris together. So we'll have to see what he does. I think it's not a terrible move though, even though Mackie and I were clowning it off the rip because come on, Arthur Smith.
Hardy.
But as a coordinator, not too bad. If you got him as your HC, I don't know what you're doing, but coordinator, they usually excel in those roles.
Yeah, he's been nothing but good as a coordinator. I mean, with Tannehill, like if we truly run it back next year with Pickett, which it's seeming like we're going to, but I don't know. I think just run the ball, and that's exactly what he likes to do. I'm excited.
Yeah, I like when people bring in former head coaches to be OCs or DCs.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, I'd rather that than some quarterbacks coach get promoted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the stage is too big for Arthur Smith as the head coach. When it shrinks down to the offense, he gets knowing what he's doing. He's not
Let
really
Tomlin handle the
dispensing
media. Let Tomlin
Yeah,
handle
the
everything. Yeah,
team. Yeah, like just focus on running an offense. I wouldn't be surprised if he's up in the box.
yeah.
Uh,
That's where I feel like our offensive coordinators always sit up top.
Patriots are always on the fucking field. That's because they
I
don't want
feel.
you to know
What
who's
would you
calling the
do?
plays.
I guess I don't really know what I would do. I think offense. I'd want to be up
Depends on
top.
what kind of a coach you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think you want to be on the field. You just feel so disconnected up top, but you do see everything, obviously.
You see everything.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a different mindset. Like think about your mindset and the conversations around you and when you're in the box versus when you're on the field. Like you're caught. It depends on what type of coach you are. Like Mike Tomlin would
I'd
always be on the field.
Yeah. But I'm
He's
saying,
a head
I
coach,
think if
but
actually, I'm not thinking back on it. I think I'd want to be on the field, but I'd have like my quarterback coach or wide receivers coach. Someone would have to be
Up
up
there
top
talking
talking
to
to me.
you.
Yeah, I'd need to know like what
depends
do
on
you
your
see?
age
Tell me
too.
everything you
Depends on
see.
your
Yeah.
age too.
Then you're not doing it yourself.
Well, I know, but I just want to. So then I'm obviously you're still the one calling the plays, but you just want to see what they see.
No,
from
yeah,
that
but like
point of
you
view.
can't like
Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
you're in that position for a reason. You see it better than
Yeah, 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 yeah,
you're
yeah.
banking on somebody else's eyes.
Interesting. That's a tough division.
Alrighty, moving forward here to the NHL. Let's jump into our power rankings here for this week. Number 5, we got the Winnipeg Jets, followed by number 4, the Florida Panthers. Number 3, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 2, the Boston Bruins. And 1, the Vancouver Canucks sliding in there. What are we thinking about these power rankings coming into this week? Just feel like a light week of NHL here this week.
Yeah, All-Star break coming this week. There's like 2 or 3 games a night. Penguins haven't played since like last weekend. They don't play until Tuesday, so I've been kind of checked out of the NHL for the past couple of days. But I know tonight there's 3 games. Last night I think there was 1 or 2. The night before there was 1. So it's definitely felt like a longer, more stretched out All-Star break, just because the games that are on I felt like haven't been as great. Or am I wrong? Like the past couple nights we've been watching like Columbus versus fucking St. Louis.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh, in the
also been such a
NHL,
it's been a light slate also too. I don't get why they spaced it out so much, like you said.
going into the
Maybe,
break to do it, it's weird.
but no, but the Bruins, their last
But
game was like
like the
3
Penguins
nights
haven't.
ago.
I was gonna say the Penguins haven't played in like 6 days, and then I was looking. The
They don't play
Senators,
till after, right?
the Senators played Monday, and they play tonight.
Yeah, it's a weird like the NHL schedule is also so weird.
So like the Penguins have a 5 or 6 day
Yeah,
longer
but
break than
actually,
Ottawa.
Huff,
Yeah.
the Ottawa break will be afterwards. That's the thing.
True, I didn't think of that.
I didn't think about that either. And
They
that's
probably
how
don't
they
play
should
until like
figure it.
next Friday.
I didn't realize how much time they give off the most time between the All-Star break out of any league. I feel like, well, obviously the NFL, but like that's different.
Because
But
it's
yeah,
the end of the season.
Ottawa
talking
don't
of,
doesn't
talking
Ottawa
about
doesn't
some of these power rankings though, I can't believe you guys disrespect my Boston Bruins and not put them at number 1. The Vancouver Canucks
because
playing
they're
that
not
weak.
number one.
They play in that weak West. We beat good teams night in and night out. I mean, we're in the national media. That's all right. I'll take the
They have
second
0
spot.
regulation losses in their last 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to, yeah, I guess you can go with these stats, but I'm gonna put these guys up there every
Well, I
time.
mean,
They
they're
look
Bruins
fucking
are
great.
obviously like right there. It's not like it's
No, I
disrespect,
know
but
they're tied. They're literally tied too.
you
I just
don't
had to
even
give
want to
you
be number 1 because when you're number 1, you lose in the first round.
Yeah, so we already did that last year. I'm all set there. But yeah, these rankings are good. Surprised one thing I said this in the chat the other day. I was like, I can't believe we don't have the Oilers in there. They're on a 16 game heater, but they're right on the outside. They started off so poorly. I mean, they'll get in there
They
eventually.
should
I think.
they should probably be in there. We did miss out on that one. I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league right now.
There are,
So.
but here's like our power rankings
game
have
heater,
been,
not in my top 5.
our power rankings have been more the top 5 teams overall in the league. Like we take the previous week
It's a
into
mix of
advance.
both.
Like
It's a mix
You
of
just
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
when you think of power rankings, you gotta think like the 5 last teams you want to see at this moment. Like that's just kind of how you gotta
That's a
think
good
about
point.
it.
Yeah.
So
I think when the
usually-
Oilers break the record, which I think they will, Huff and I were scouting the games last week.
and they play Vegas coming up.
Yeah,
in Vegas. If they get that, they'll get the record.
but then they
Yeah.
get the Ducks in the next one.
Yeah,
So I mean, if they can do that, they'll probably get in our rankings. Regardless, they might be in. But there's a lot of good teams in the NHL right now. A lot of teams are buzzing. You know what's great too is everybody's getting healthy now. A lot of those guys that were on the IR are starting to come off, activated for that next week after the All-Star break. I saw William Karlsson. I saw Ville Husso. Ilya Samsonov stepping it up. He got called back up to the Maple Leafs, shut out in a couple 1-goal games against. Really jumping back on the scene. But we're at the halfway point now. There's a lot of teams that still have question marks. The New Jersey Devils being the biggest one. And a lot of teams really looking at what they want to bring in at the deadline and if they're going to be buyers or sellers.
Jack
Yeah.
Hughes just got rolled out for the All-Star festivities. I saw.
yeah. These moves at the All-Star or at the trade deadline are going to be a lot of. It's going to show a lot about these teams because there's a lot of these teams in the hunt, like the Devils. Man, I mean, what are they going to do here? Sitting 6 points back in a playoff spot. This team was projected to be. I think they were top 3 favorite for the cup this year.
They
On
were the
outside
favorite to win the East.
Yeah, they're on the outside looking in now, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do at the trade deadline. I think the Penguins are kind of all in. I think they're definitely going to be buyers at the deadline. You wouldn't go out and get Letang or not Letang. You wouldn't go out.
A
And
lot
get
of teams that are
Karlsson.
buying. It's tight up in that bubble right now.
You got to think like teams like the Islanders. You got to sell, man. Teams like the Islanders. Caps probably
What
gonna be
about
on
the
the
Blues?
outside.
They're on the western side. They're kind of heating up a little bit. They're trying to
They
figure out
have
their
gotten hot
cars.
the past couple of weeks, Ace.
Yeah, they're
I
sitting
think
in a
they're a
playoff
weak
spot right
team though,
now.
in my opinion. So I don't know. But that's how they won their cup. Remember, they were at that
You
tail
know
end
the
in the
haul they
second
could
half.
get if they traded like that Robert Thomas or Kyrou. Oh
Buchnevich,
my
bro. They gotta get
god.
rid of Buchnevich.
Sell high on Buchnevich. You think? You don't think he gets much
I
better than
think
what he's
the
doing this year?
Rangers are looking at him, but no, he's no, I'm high on
Isn't
him.
he
I think
already a Ranger?
No,
yeah,
he was.
He was, yeah. He went from the Rangers and then he killed us with St. Louis, and now we want him back. Yeah,
That's the way it goes. The Bruins
I
looking
like
to
that.
make a
I
big
like
move too.
Thomas on St. Louis.
The Bruins are
Rob
going to look to get a
Thomas.
center. Our big rumor right now is Elias Lindholm to come over, but they want like Patra and Beecher. I don't know. It's a tough call. We might be selling. Sweeney's always cooking up for the Bruins though. Teams like Tampa, the two Florida teams have gotten really hot too. Tampa stays killing it with Kucherov leading the league in points, Stammer and Point playing well too. Vazzy's back. And then the Florida Panthers are playing great hockey. Reinhart having a career year. That guy's going to get paid too.
Yeah. Holy
Did you guys
shit.
see Did you guys see? I saw a survey. They surveyed NHL players on the most punchable players in the NHL.
Yeah, I
It was
saw
an
that.
anonymous
Marchand
survey.
was 2.
Yeah, Nick Cousins
Tkachuk.
was 1 and Kachuk was 3. The two of the Florida Panthers are in the top 3.
No, but Kachuk and his brother was right after him.
Yeah, the younger brother was right after him.
Yeah. And then Tom
Pretty-
Wilson at 5.
Yeah. It's because no one wants to say they'll punch him because they'll just beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, that's what he did. He reset the Rangers organization. You can thank them for the rebuild. They caught them really good, I guess. So.
Yes, sir. They've been in the dumps ever since.
Tom Wilson, the owner of the Rangers, turned the keys, flipped the lights on.
So that must make Matty Kachuk your daddy too.
No, I mean, we were always good. Still good. About the same.
It's been 13 years.
No, but like you guys were trashed. You weren't even in the playoffs, and then Tom Wilson
For
beat your
what,
whole
2
team up.
years?
Yeah, I mean the Bruins are always in the playoffs, Mackie.
We haven't had a cup in 13 years, so
What'd you say the Rangers' last cup was?
I'm not over here bragging about our accomplishments though.
No, I'm just saying we're continually
You are.
in the playoff. We're a playoff team every year. I'm just saying we're good.
You haven't won in 13
We were
years.
never a dumpster fire like you guys were, though.
Rebuild.
At least we didn't embarrass the King.
Who?
The King
Oh, yeah, that was tough.
laying
Got
down
there.
flat on the ice. Alec Martinez, you hate the
Yeah.
King.
Yeah, we weren't good enough that year. No way. Or any year, I guess.
They're up and up though. They're up and up.
Boston's got to see a championship this year. You got 2 1 seeds. Come on, man.
Yeah, which one do you think has more likely? Got to be the Celtics, right? NHL is
Yeah,
so much parity in the NHL.
It's got to be the Celtics, just because it's in teams. The top teams are gonna stay the top teams.
NHL, anybody can win. Like the Blues could get in the playoffs.
Exactly,
And
that's
go
what
on
I'm
a
saying.
run.
Like the Knicks are not gonna end up beating the Celtics. They're not even how good the Knicks are playing right now. I don't think
Yeah,
that they're
like only a couple teams in the East can beat the Celtics. Actually, craziness. That's why I love the NHL.
This weekend in the NHL, we have that All-Star weekend here. Toronto, Canada, the skills competition being on Friday. The All-Star 3-on-3 tournament being held on Saturday, with the final being at 5 p.m. That's that same 3-on-3 format that we're used to the past couple of years. Any comments on that, Ace?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you guys like since the switch happened a few years ago that they go 3-on-3. I think it's entertaining.
It's so much more entertaining. Yeah,
The
So
high
is
scores
it-
are cool too.
Is it division based though, or do they draft?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
it's division. I think. Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
is pretty
like
cool. Yeah, it's always a fun one to bet is the over in those games is awesome. That's my favorite thing to do. And Mackie, I know the Pro Bowl, I probably won't bet it like you said, but the NHL All Star game, I bet the overs if I happen to catch it on TV. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it over 7.5 in this, and it goes like 23 goals in one game.
I was gonna say it's a 7-minute game though. It'll be like 11-8.
Yeah, because I remember last year I had one, and McKinnon and Cale Makar scored 3 goals in like 9 seconds at the end to cash it. I was like, knew it the whole time. Fun one to watch. A lot of great stars. 2 of the Bruins going there. Happy to see that. Sway and Pasta. So I'll definitely tune in a little bit. Skills competition's a good time too in the NHL.
Lots of good stuff out of the NHL. Let's move forward here. The NBA's next with our power rankings for this week. Number 5, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Number 4, the Los Angeles Clippers. Number 3, the Milwaukee Bucks. Number 2, the Oklahoma City Thunder. And number 1, the Boston Celtics. There for you, Ace. What are we thinking out of these 5 teams for this week's power rankings in the NBA?
How
Yeah,
It's
much
the first
Clippers.
week.
change?
It's the first week it's changed in a couple of
Well,
weeks. Finally get the Clippers in there. They've obviously been on
they've
a
been
tear.
hot.
Yeah.
Those Clippers are playing good basketball.
You guys didn't like when they brought in Westbrook. I thought it was a good move. I think didn't one of
I
you
didn't
not
like when they
like
brought
that?
in Harden. It's been the best thing for
Yeah, that
them.
one too.
I liked
Yeah.
when they. I thought that I liked that. It just reminded me of the Brooklyn Nets, but they actually kind of all play.
Well,
Well,
Harden's playing.
it's much nicer playing LA, and you have Kawhi Leonard on the team too. When that guy does suit up on a nightly basis, he's fucking good.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Whenever you play with Kawhi, you have a chance to win anything. But yeah, this team. I mean, they're built for a championship. If Kawhi can get Harden and PG their first ring, that guy's top 10 all time.
That's gonna be a tough team to see in the playoffs. I mean, they have so many threats. Russell Westbrook even playing his best basketball since like his MVP days. The bench too. They actually have some depth around them, which is crazy. Unlike the Lakers, I mean, they're big time buyers because they can't seem to find anything to fit around Davis or James. Just tough to see. Warriors too. They're in the big conversation of being sellers. I mean, you think they will be any of those big stars moving on
Nah, they're gonna. I mean, because the NBA format now, you could be a 10 seed and still
and
find a way
still
to get
make
into the
noise in the
playoffs.
playoffs? Yeah.
They have the star talent. They have like the players to get there. They're just not really playing well right now. So teams like that aren't gonna sell. But um, I mean, they're not playing good basketball. Clay's looking old. Draymond can't figure his shit out. Steph's been playing good basketball, but he can't do it all himself. They have a lot of problems. I think Steve Kerr's on the hot seat, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah,
Mackie, your Knicks have been shooting up the rankings lately since that OG trade.
OG. I hated the trade, but holy shit, 14-2 since then. He's been positive in a plus minus every single game. He was positive 40 in one game. It's absolute ridiculous numbers. Definitely the addition we needed. Jalen Brunson's playing incredible basketball. Julius Randle's been playing a little better. You have like the Villanova Knicks over here. Dante DiVincenzo, 33 points last night in the W. Josh Hart also playing good basketball. That team's rolling right now. I know I just said they probably couldn't beat the Celtics in a 7-game series, but that's probably the only team I wouldn't take them. Well, not that I wouldn't take them over. It's the only team I don't think that they could possibly beat in a 7-game series in that Eastern Conference. They're playing really good basketball, and if they go in as underdogs, they're not someone you really want to see.
Yeah, and then meanwhile, the Miami Heat have been playing terrible. I saw they were thinking about moving on from Jimmy Butler. I'm like, no way. But they've been slipping big time. I don't know if that's something to worry about at all. But
8 game losing streak. They haven't won since they brought in Terry Rozier.
yeah, I know. And he's coming off the bench. They got to find their flow. But they've been a weird team all season long, and they're never really that healthy too, which doesn't help. Sixers been weird too. Embiid been in and out of the lineup lately. Still a
And now
great team though.
is that Embiid injury? Is it big, Huff?
Supposedly it's. I mean, did you see his MVP odds shift?
No.
So the night after he put up 73 points, he was plus 150 to win the
Oh,
MVP,
okay, I saw that.
and now he's plus like 15,000
Yeah,
because you have to play 65 games, so he's not going to qualify just because of this injury.
right.
So he's at least going to miss 4 or 5 games, they think. Another funny injury news. Did you see Ben Simmons made a comeback on Monday
Yeah,
and he's
and he
not playing
played
tonight?
well.
He's out tonight.
He played
Yep.
well though.
Yeah, and he's out tonight. with an
Yeah, but that's
injury.
just like him trying to probably get back into it. They don't want to overuse him right away, but
Overused, dude. He hasn't played in 5 years.
yeah, I know what you're saying. But
Like, come on.
I mean, think about it. Like a lot of players that come back after that long, they don't like just go out there and play 35 minutes every single night. Like,
No, I know, but it's like just play 15 minutes and then just play the next night like 15 minutes. Don't play
Yeah.
like 30 and then just not play.
bro, I think he's just trying to like keep his name relevant so he can still keep making money. But like,
I think
does
he's trying
not
to
wanna-
stay hurt so everyone can keep being like, wait till he's healthy, dude. Like his potential was there, but like we know what you're getting with Ben
Bro, he
Simmons
was-
now.
Dude, I
He
hope
was
he actually starts playing one day because like the storyline of his career, if he turns back into a good player, would be so crazy.
I think it's too late. I really
It's-
do. I think
He
Yeah,
played
yeah.
well though. He can still be an
Yeah, but
impact
like
player.
think about how he was in the Sixers.
Oh, just
he
the
was
cancer, you mean?
Good, dude. He was
Oh,
so good.
you're saying how good he was. Yeah, I agree. That'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, he plays a little bit more basketball though. I like watching him.
Wasn't he one of the rookies of the year that won in his second year?
Yeah,
Like
He
Chet
was the
Holmgren's
rookie
gonna
of
he
do?
was the first
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Chet, I don't think Chet's gonna win it anymore.
But you know what I mean? Because he was the favorite for a little bit.
Right.
Purdue can't fucking hit anything. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not watching that game. I'm just gonna check it at the end.
It's tied right now.
It's gonna be one of them games.
Yeah, the
They
blood.
just have-
That's
they
what
haven't
Michigan
gotten on
State
their
did
run
yesterday. I looked at it and I looked at it again like an hour and a half later. I was like, oh, good
They haven't gone on their big run yet. They're good for a 12 or 10-0 run every home game they have. They're fucking dude. Every layup Edie's had, there's 3 guys draped on him, and they just foul him. So sooner
Pitt's,
or later, guys are gonna foul out.
Pitt's -2.5.
That game started is at 7.
Yeah, it's starting right now.
One more point here out of the NBA. The Golden State Warriors reportedly will not break up their longstanding core of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green unless Steph Curry agrees to the deal. What do you guys think about these 3 players? Do you think that these 3 players will all retire Warriors? I think this is just an interesting thing overall that's just said. I feel like this is one of those things that if
What
that's
a-
if that's
if-
true, you don't
here-
say that.
What
But
a
I don't know.
stupid thing to announce to the public.
Yeah,
If this was the
that's exactly what I'm
Penguins,
thinking.
if this was the Penguins and Mary Lemieux came out and said, "We're not going to trade Malkin or Letang unless Crosby wants to," I'd say I'd rather not know that.
Yeah.
Who the
I agree.
who even came out and said this? Like, how accurate is it?
It came from the score, and they're usually pretty credible. Like, I trust their shit.
Yeah, for sure, I do too. But Jesus Christ, like that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
It's just one
That
of
should
those
be a
things that-
conversation between Steph Curry and whoever.
Bob Myers, that's
management.
it.
Yeah, Bob Myers. It's literally
Yeah.
the only 2 people that should ever know about any of that.
That's so crazy.
But I mean, obviously, Steph's not going to be like, yeah, ship these guys off. Like,
Right.
They're going to say, "Steph, how bad do you want to win again?" He's going to be like, "I think we can get another one." They're going to be like,
what?
"So do you
I-
think it's with these guys, or do you want to be one of those guys that led 2 completely different teams with one franchise to the finals?"
Draymond will 1,000% retire if they want to move on from him.
I think Draymond's going to retire after this year.
Yeah, he definitely could.
Yeah,
and I
just make a
think
ton of money on
he's all in. So he's all in the media now. He's like he's checked out of actual basketball. But and I think Clay's ego's too high for him to just throw the game away if they want to move on, and he'll try to go somewhere else, light it up, and he's just gonna be a dinosaur out there just fucking putting duds.
I truly think they'll keep Clay if Draymond retires.
Dude, they were
Yeah.
talking about getting rid of Clay after Toronto, after they lost
Yeah.
to Toronto.
Yeah, when he was hurt.
Yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on his way.
He's so streaky. Like,
I mean,
he could
If
never
you
lead
were-
his own team ever.
what?
I don't think he could ever lead his own team.
In his prime, maybe, but
Yeah,
definitely not
true.
now. Absolutely
Yeah, true.
not.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I don't even think in
Just
his
the
prime he
style
could
of
really.
player he was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, he's like he doesn't have the ball in his hand. He's a catch and
No, he's
shoot
a
defensive
catch and
player,
shoot. Yeah.
and he's a defensive player. But he's I mean his
He'd be
defense
good
isn't
at-
there anymore because he's injured and old. So he's
He'd
really
be good
just.
on like the Knicks or the guy like Brunson.
I don't even think. Yeah, I wouldn't even. I don't think the Knicks would want him.
No, I'm just saying that's the kind of guy that he'd be good with. Like Curry, there's a reason he's good. He plays with fucking Curry.
Yeah,
Okay, we'll hold the ball.
exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Warriors this Warriors roster could never win another championship. But Steph's. I mean, you're wasting precious years from Steph Curry. Like LeBron never.
But it's also
LeBron-
like Steph earned those guys earned it. If they want to go out like that, that's how they want to go out. Like they earned that.
Steph's not done though.
I know,
The
but like,
dynasty is over, but Steph's
there's
not
a-
done.
yeah, there's a reason they asked him like, "What
It's
do you
like
want to do
LeBron
here?"
leaving on from Miami in 2014. Like these guys are getting old. I'm not done though. I'm gonna go back to Cleveland with Kyrie, go win a championship. When he sees that team falling apart, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to LA because I'm not done yet. I'm gonna go to LA, build an empire, bring AD, go win a championship." Steph's just sitting here watching this team fall apart, and he's been there forever, so he's not going anywhere. But he can't really. I mean, what's he gonna say? Get rid of these guys? I think he should. I think after this year we're gonna see
I think Draymond's gonna retire. I think that solves everything. Truly.
Dre retires, Clay's gone. Now you got Kuminga. You can build that team right around him and Kuminga. And just you have a lot of money after that if you get rid of Clay and Dre. Sign some guys.
Guys will always want to come play with Steph, and especially in Golden State, it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like you're trying to get
definitely.
free agent guys to come to Milwaukee. You know what I mean?
Who do you think they should go out and get?
I don't even know.
Sign 2 guys.
I couldn't even name the biggest free agents coming into this summer.
Cat.
There's right there. That'd be perfect.
You think Cat going to Golden State would be good?
Do you think Minnesota will move on from him after this big year they're
Dude,
having?
they were talking about shipping him before the season, and then
Yeah.
obviously,
But that's what I'm saying. I think this big season they're having
yeah, 'cause
kind of
they don't want
shows
to.
like,
I don't think they're gonna want to pay him.
yeah, true. NBA just says fuck their like they moved their superstars on from like
It's crazy, dude.
yeah.
But
Like
Cat has,
if this happened in the NFL and Cat was a quarterback, he'd have a starting job for 5 years with that team.
but Cat's been there forever, so I mean that
Yeah.
could be a little different too. But now, I mean, he's not the main guy. Everyone knows Ant's the main guy there.
Yeah.
Look at this guy munching. What is this fucking lunch? We got a lunch hour.
All right, let's keep it moving here. College basketball here next. We got a great week of matchups coming up this week, starting on Thursday with number 6 Wisconsin at Nebraska. Saturdays where the majority of the elite matchups are taking place. Number 1 UConn at St. John's. Number 4 Houston at number 8 Kansas. Number 7 Duke at number 3 UNC. Number 12 Iowa State at number 18 Baylor. Number 5 Tennessee at number 10 Kentucky. Just to name some of the top 25 matchups. Make sure to stay tuned to our social medias to check all our basketball plays. We're 72, 43, and 3, just over 28 units positive here.
61%.
Yeah, just mad work done by the boys. Any of those games that you guys want to highlight on before we get moving on here?
We also got Wisconsin at
Purdue on Sunday.
Wisconsin at Purdue. No, Purdue at Wisconsin on Sunday.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's the one I left off, but I
get-
just there was so many games on Saturday. I felt like that was enough to mention real quick.
We get 4 top 10 matchups this weekend. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life. It's absolutely incredible. We're gonna tap in and we're gonna catch these winners too. Our goal, me and Huff talked about it, 100 wins before 50 losses. That means you really have to lock in. I think it's like a 66% clip during that time. So that's
yeah, 150. If we were 150, that'd be 66%.
You guys have a long shot play you'd place right now, if you could?
we were talking about it. We don't want to say anything just quite yet, but we have a few teams in mind for a national title ticket.
Purdue's going on their run here. We need a nice little run before half.
But yeah, we should have a full card Saturday. We always do. Looking at it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's so many good games this weekend. UNC Duke, first time since when they played in the tournament when they were both a top 10 seed, but obviously that was tournament seeding. So this is true, regular season seeding, but top 10 matchup. This can be great. Obviously Duke UNC, it's an all-time college basketball rivalry. I'll be tuning in for that one on Saturday night.
Alrighty. I think that's just about everything we got here this week. Episode 23, the week of the Pro Bowl. We got some time before the Super Bowl, but we will make sure to cover everything on that here next week and in our live stream next week on Super Bowl Sunday, the big game Sunday, whatever you want to call it now. I don't even know what we're allowed to call it.
I was going to say, remember a couple years ago you made us say big game the whole time?
Yeah.
Well,
Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl.
We'll talk about that. But that's all we got.
He's gonna have to bleep everything. It's
Anything else, boys?
I think that's it. No, that's good.
Go Bees, weekend off. Get to enjoy some sports that look like we're out there playing. That's the speed they go at. So should be going.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Stay tuned to social media. Like Mackie said, Fat Saturday college basketball card coming this weekend. Lots of good matchups throughout the week. So with NHL All-Star Game and the NFL Pro Bowl, we're going to be definitely tuning in. Make sure you're staying tuned for the college basketball card. Like we said, NHL, a couple games leading up to the All-Star break. I don't know when it officially starts. I think Thursday is the last day, or is tonight the last day?
Say it again.
Is tonight the last day of NHL games, or is there games tomorrow?
No, tonight is the last night.
Yeah, I think it is.
So yeah, All-Star break starts tonight. So yeah, definitely college basketball throughout the weekend. Probably not going to card anything in any of these All-Star games. So, but we'll get some plays out if anyone's going to be taking anything. So stay tuned to social media. That's really all we got. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Are we doing a live stream this Sunday? All right, stay tuned.
Possibly stuff coming your way.